What's good?
Turn my mic on. There we go. Let me make sure it's showing up right. Yep, mine's showing up.
Who's excited? Diddling Diddy is going down.
All right, before we get into any of that, let's talk about what we're doing. Okay, so this is the Trusten and Jeff show. I'm Trusten.
What's
That's
up,
Jeff.
Jeff? G2S
And
TV also.
oh yeah, and my YouTube channel is Professor Word, and that's the one that this is going under because honestly, it's been hard for me to keep up the video game content, and I need to do something that I can incorporate into my life. I have a very busy schedule now, where I work every single day of the week. So this is the best way that I can continue making content because it's important to while still doing what I need to get done.
For sure, for sure. So yeah, it's been a crazy week. I don't know how much you've seen about the P Diddy situation, but the funniest thing, the thing I find funny about that is the Keefe D situation. That's the guy who actually shot Tupac, right? He finally got charged with murder. Well, he was throwing Diddy out there when this first all happened. So I wonder if that ain't anything to do with that other case. A lot of people,
Um,
I've never heard any other people draw that conclusion, but to me, I feel like it's definitely within the realm that it's a pretty high level murder
yeah,
case. So
I'm not too up to date with that case, but it is a very interesting topic that they finally, figured out who shot Tupac and who did that.
well, the craziest thing about that whole situation was like it was a LA street rumor for like 20 years. Everybody knew, you
Or they
know.
just didn't want to like say it, or
Well, I remember
they just didn't
documentaries.
kind of look into it
Yeah,
as
I seen
much.
documentaries back in like 2002 where they were talking about Keefe D shooting. He was the one allegedly at that point, but they had no
Yeah.
witnesses that were willing to talk. So, um, that's why they were never able to charge him. And then the fool went around to every podcast in the world and told the story. So he definitely gave them all the evidence they needed for that one. But I
Wait,
do.
so you're telling me the guy who did it went around on all these podcasts and was talking about doing it?
Oh, Vlad TV, Art of Art of Art of Dialogue, I mean, some major platforms, and, I don't even the crazy thing is some of these people, these gangsters that go on these certain platforms, there's been a lot of them arrested because the shit they say on these platforms, or the stuff they say, excuse me, but, it just baffles me that they all continue to keep going on these platforms after they see, like, one guy get arrested, then another guy for going on the same pod and saying too much, and then they go on and do the same thing. It's just
They're literally just don't even learn from other people's mistakes. They had to learn the hard way.
well, Keefe D, he wrote a book. I think he thought he was gonna die of cancer. He had cancer in, like, 2012 or
Oh,
something.
so he wrote a
He
book.
wrote a tell-all book, I guess thinking he was gonna be gone in, like, 5 or 10 years. Well, he beats the cancer, and
Now they got him.
now he, in his own words, he could say it's for entertainment or what, but he's been a suspect for a long time. So for him to go ahead and put it out in his own words, I think he sealed his own fate. But
Or
the
at the
truth,
very least, he just opened a can of worms that he is not gonna be able to get out of easily.
well, so for me, the Tupac case, man, like I grew up on Tupac, right? And
Yeah.
I remember that night. I was watching, we
Yeah.
watched the Tyson fight on pay per view. Dad was mad because Tyson done knocked the guy out again in the first
Yeah.
round, and we done spent $60 in like 96 or whatever it was. And anyways, but I remember when the news came on saying Tupac was shot, everybody thought he was going to survive because he had already survived being shot like 6 times prior.
Yeah.
So
Then he
yeah, then he
died.
passed a week later. But the thing about it was, is like it's just crazy to see him finally arrest Keefe D, because I remember for years and years everybody talked about him being the one, and then
Yeah.
Orlando Anderson, of course. But it's been crazy to see it play out over my life, as being a fan like back at 16 when it happened to now.
Yeah.
And then to know the whole story was true, because back then they said it was the East West Coast rivalry, right? Well, come to find out, P Diddy did pay someone $1 million. Like that's actual like fact that they've been able to.
Paper trail.
There's somewhat of a paper trail. He didn't pay it to Keefe D though. He paid it to a middleman who then stole the money from Keefe D.
Oh man.
Um, Zip Van Zip Von Martin, which is like, from everything I know about him, like if you've seen the movie American Gangster, um, he worked with Frank Lucas. I think he came up with Frank Lucas. He's an old school Harlem gangster, and
Yeah.
basically he was the reason that kept Diddy from ever getting caught up in murder for hire because instead of paying Keefy D, he stole the money and opened a nightclub called Zip Code, which
Yeah.
is just so suiting, you know. But yeah, man, it's a crazy thing to see it play out. I wonder, um, I want to see what happens with Diddy with all these allegations. It's just crazy, man. Because like, how many more of these people that we've heard conspiracy theories about? How many more times is it going to be true? You know what I mean? Before we realize, you know
Well,
what I mean?
conspiracy theory was a term that was coined by, I
The
think it might have, yeah, it
CIA.
was the CIA to go against people who, might have been whistleblowers
Yeah,
because it instantly gives you bad credibility.
yeah.
Now, moving from that, the whole Mike Tyson Jake Paul fight.
Oh, I cannot wait.
Well,
Mike
listen,
Tyson, you better slay him,
the
dog.
rules for it is fighters over the age of 36 and stuff. So Mike Tyson, he has to do an EKG and an EEG to detect heart and brain problems. They're gonna wear 16-ounce gloves instead of 10-ounce gloves, and instead of 3-minute rounds, they're gonna be 2-minute rounds. And there's no official judges will score the fight, so therefore no winner unless a KO.
That's crazy. I mean, I think Jake Paul is setting the odds in his favor, maybe. Now, I really hope Tyson's coming in to knock him out in the first round like the old days, and I think he is.
His training, he's been training hard.
He looks good. I mean, from the movement I've seen from Tyson compared to Jake Paul, dude, I would definitely be more willing to fight Jake Paul than Tyson.
Yeah, I would not want to. I mean, I'd rather learn from Mike Tyson than fight him.
No, oh, for sure. But I'm just saying, like, can you imagine, like,
Yeah, it'd be rough.
either one of
You'd be
them? I'm
bobbing
pretty.
and weaving, doing his peekaboo, and then he'd
Yeah,
just throw over and shit.
yeah. I mean, um, definitely. I don't. Unless this is a big payoff where Tyson's just getting a big payday
Well,
to
they're getting.
kinda
Let me look it up, but it's
spar.
millions of dollars.
Oh, it's a huge payday for him either way. But I'm wondering if Paul hasn't already had an agreement to, hey, go light. We'll make you look good. We'll make me look good. You know what I mean? Like a win-win and a big payday for both. Um, but I believe Mike Tyson's a true and honorable boxer, so I think he's going to take his head off. Mike, Mike, listen, dude, you got to take Jake Paul's head off. We need one more first round knockout by Mike Tyson. That needs to be
Okay.
what ends his career. What seals his career. We need
Yeah.
one more first round knockout. That'd be awesome. Come on, Mike.
Yeah. So, Tyson is gonna get 20 million for the fight.
Ooh, we.
That's a lot of
I
money.
bet that's probably better than his last couple fights combined. Um, yeah, man, I can't say enough about Mike Tyson. Like, to see what he did, even coming back from, he lost a lot of money and stuff. He lost hundreds of millions, and
Well, he was
to
very bad with his
to see,
finances.
yeah, yeah, to see him come back, man. But you know that Mike Tyson has said some of the wisest stuff I've ever heard. Like, what he says, if God really wants to test you, He'll give you everything you ever wanted.
And see see
And
what you
see
do
what
with
you
it.
do with it. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I believe like if you really listen to some of his uh sayings and like what he say, he said, not everybody you fight is your enemy, and not everybody who's your friend is your how is it? Not everyone you fight is your enemy, and not everyone you think is your friend is your friend. Something like that. But anyways,
Yeah.
Mike Tyson has some really good he's a lot wiser than people give him credit for, is what I'm saying. And yeah, man, just I really,
I
really first round knockout.
see. I think it was not everyone you fight is your enemy, and not everyone who supports you is your friend.
Okay.
And then here was another one. It's like when you're favored by God, you're also favored by the devil.
And that
So
is
you
true.
got to leave with the person who brought you to the dance.
That's right. And man, I can't say enough about that. Like yeah, that is definitely true.
Yeah.
And that's what's wrong. I mean, like I don't know. I don't want to steer too. All I'm gonna say is, look, man. Our nation was blessed by God up to a point where we took him out of everything, and since then, it has been a consistent downfall in our economy. And you could look and see.
Yeah.
I'm 100% right. That is
They
100% fact.
they changed Easter to Transgender Appreciation Day. in the White House.
Ooh, 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 yeah, that's look, man, uh,
And they wouldn't let the people who did the Easter drop for
we
the government personnel, they wouldn't let the kids draw any kind of religious, stuff on the, eggs.
that is crazy, I mean, I'm iffy on the whole egg thing and the bunny thing because if you really know your, like, if you know it was a pagan, history about any paganism and stuff, like, the Easter egg thing, it's weird the way it's mixed in with, as a celebration of Christ rising from the dead because, they took these pagan traditions like Easter eggs and mixed them in with Christianity. It's really weird. I think they did it as a way for the Roman government to kind of
Okay,
get people to jump on board.
yeah, so from what I found out is okay, so it's not that they, officially changed, like, Easter, the holiday, but what they did is they, right now it's saying that they changed the Easter egg contest. That's what it was. Okay. So so they didn't change the holiday, they changed the competition that was for the eggs, but I feel like if you're doing a competition that's based on a specific holiday, that you should allow the, religious aspects because the holiday in itself is inherently religious.
Well, yeah, I mean, we're supposed to have religious freedoms. We allow these, recently, last year actually, I seen a local area high school let a satanic club start up after school. Well, that is a religion, right? So that should be separated because of church and state. But it's like they wouldn't allow a church group to go on after school in a school. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
there's these weird double standards that would have never existed when I was growing up. And like, look, man, um, this whole idea that we can make life fair is is crazy. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, and as sooner people face that, the better off we're gonna be as a nation or in a world as a world even. Like, now that said, your own effort can make a lot of difference on how everything plays out. And that's the truth, I believe that 100%. But yeah, man, I can't wait for this the Mike Tyson Jake Paul fight. I'm glad you brought that up. It's something to talk about 'cause, man, like Mike, if y'all share this to Mike, we need we need first
You
round
got that?
knockout. One more,
You
yeah.
got that.
But yeah, so how much film have you watched on Tyson?
I've seen his training up until about day 4
Oh,
and some sparring that I've seen Sean Jones go over.
we're gonna have to go over his knockouts, dude. Oh my god, because I never forget. Like I remember the day, like when Mike Tyson lost the Holyfield. Okay, the first Mike Tyson loss seemed like a fluke, right, with Buster Douglas. Um, but shout out to Buster Douglas because he did win that fight, and he promised. The crazy thing was he promised his mom he was gonna win. Huge
Yeah.
underdog, dude, and he pulled it out. His mom had just passed, and he had promised her he'd win, and he won, man. He only had the belt for like one fight. Like he literally lost the next fight. But um, I'll never forget that the loss to Holyfield seemed so much worse because I mean I was actually rooting for Douglas in that fight. That's the only time I ever rooted against Mike Tyson because dude lost his mom. It's just a
Yeah, and he told her he would
great
win.
underdog story, man. So I know I bet a lot of people were really hoping he win. I remember praying as a kid he'd win. I was like 9 at that fight. But the Douglas fight was great, but where the Holyfield fight was the craziest when he bit his ear because we were so used to seeing Mike Tyson slay people, and uh, Holyfield's a great boxer. Don't get me wrong, but nobody was better than Mike when Mike, especially when he had Cuz. The money and the drug, the money and the partying kind of threw Mike Tyson out of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The original Mike Tyson under Cus D'Amato was just even the first couple years as champion. You know what I mean? It was just a
Yeah, he
You
was an
know,
animal.
once he had a couple years of champion, like it kind of he got poisoned, thought he was unbeatable, and but
Yeah.
yeah, it was awesome, man. It was awesome. Can't say enough about Mike Tyson. I can't wait. One more first round knockout. That we need to figure out a hashtag for that. First round
Yeah.
KO. That needs to be a hashtag up till this fight. One more. Yeah.
Hey, I hope Tyson wins just because, he's Mike Tyson. Of course
Yeah.
I'm rooting for him. I'm not the biggest fan of Jake Paul or Logan Paul. I mean,
Well,
there's nothing like they have their audience and stuff and they got all that, but
I
I'm just not the biggest fan of them.
I respect what they've done. You know what I mean? Like them or hate them, you got to
I
respect.
mean, they've been fighting though. I mean,
There's
and
some
they've been
Ohio
doing
guys.
that.
They're man enough to get in the ring. Okay, I think they favor it. These are. Um, I'd like to see more actual sanctions. You know what I mean? Not
Yeah.
exhibition fights from them. If they want to be taken as legitimate boxers, they need to have more actual fights that are not exhibition. Um,
Yeah.
and but I respect the guys because coming out of Ohio like they did, being able to make it as far as they have, coming from where
Yeah.
they came from, you got to respect anybody who's self-made like that, man. But yeah, yeah. And what about the Boston Bridge? What do you think about that? Have you looked into that a lot?
I haven't looked into it really at all, but I know
So
the general idea. The ship ended up losing power as
watch it.
far,
Yeah, watch a
and
little.
then it veered off and ended up going into the bridge.
Yeah. Shout out one of my favorite.
And everyone thinks that the bridge, like I was seeing a discussion of this. Everyone thinks that the bridge would not collapse if only one part of its structure went away. But I seen this comment from an actual like structural
Well,
engineer
it's like
or
an
whatever it is, or an
arch.
actual engineer.
One.
It's the oldest big bridge in the United States that we have, and so it's old, architecture. So of course, once one part of it, fell down and got demolished, and then it started putting a lot of pressure on it, and it started bending all the other parts. Like say that this is the
Well,
bridge
it's
that
like an
breaks down, and
arch.
then this is the
All the
part of the arch. The arch starts to twist, and then it just brings the rest of the bridge down with it.
exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like some things like a bridge, especially one little piece can
Yeah.
be the whole thing that brings it all down. Like suspension bridges,
Yeah.
one wrong wire breaks and the whole bridge can crumble. But this is weird. I don't know. I've seen the tape sped up. Okay. Shout out to Rivers Morning Glory.
Let me pull up a video of it real quick.
I seen it sped up on they
It's
got
Boston, right?
Baltimore.
Baltimore.
Baltimore, yeah. Baltimore, Maryland. And this bridge connects like Baltimore to DC in Virginia, I think. So this bridge, I mean, it transports a lot of goods. It's going to put a lot of strain on other ports. Um, but I don't know, man. It's just weird to me. If you guys go look up the video sped up, you'll realize, man, this bridge, it's like they
Did
steered
it
right.
happen during the day or at night?
It was at night. It was dark.
Okay.
It was dark. Um, but if you look at it sped up, it looks like they steered right for a pillar. The chances of them hitting a pillar as opposed to hitting the section of bridge that was in between the pillars,
See here. Here's the
it was
video.
yeah, it's a lot greater chance. You see how much open spots they could have went between them pillars?
See now I didn't see the wind up to it. I just seen literally the moment of
If
impact.
you see the sped up video, because they speed it up from like 15 minutes out or something, and it's like they steer right into that pillar. That's the weird part about it. And I said from the beginning, I thought
I
that
mean, it happened at night. If this would have happened during rush hour,
oh,
could
it'd
you
been all
imagine
that.
the casualties?
But dude, people don't realize the strain it's gonna cause a lot. This is a lot of money. It's gonna cost. I don't know, man. I think it should be investigated. Um, they're not allowing. I guess the government's gonna pay for it as opposed to having the boat's insurance pay for it, which the boat's insurance should pay for it, right?
Well, yeah,
But
because that's how insurance normally
if
works.
that's the case, though, the insurance company's gonna do their private investigation.
Yeah.
So it's like they don't want.
Well, the bigger the payout, the more that the insurance company will look into and stuff. So, like, say you have a policy that's only for like 20 grand, they're just going to pay it out. But if you have a policy that's for 300 grand, 3 million, 30 million, 300 million, anything that's crazy, anything that's, a couple hundred grand or more, or even like 100 grand or more, they're going to look into it and they're going to go over every detail unless it's one of those circumstances where it's like exactly what is stated in the policy and then they have to pay out.
Yeah. Well, the thing is they don't want. I keep looking. Anyways, I they they don't want insurance companies do the investigations. The
Yeah.
way I'm taking what they're doing. So
Yeah.
I
You're
don't
like
know.
half your head's off the screen.
I keep
There you go.
wanting to do the opposite of what's on screen.
Well, yeah, it's reversed.
I know. I know. That's why I got to keep remembering. So basically, the what I'm trying to get at is I think there should be a full investigation. And I think the fact that they're not doing an investigation is weird that they don't
When the
want to.
government's just willing to just pay for it. Now, is it the state government that's paying for it or the federal government?
It's well, it's going to be the federal. That's what I'm saying. Like I don't know. People think it's a little fishy what they got going on, and I agree, man. It's definitely fishy. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
to me it is. I don't know like what most people think, but
And
you
where was
know,
it again?
Baltimore, Baltimore,
Baltimore
Maryland.
Bridge.
It's like one of the fifth busiest ports we have, and yeah, man. Like I don't know. I think, yeah, I think more common people need to try to run for places in office, man. Because I don't know. I just don't see.
I mean, I wish they were more clear on it because I can see where like the government being willing to pay out of pocket right now is beneficial because it can take years when it comes to these kind of claims when it comes to insurance. But like from what I'm looking at right now, it's not saying that the government's going to expect a payback from the insurance company once it actually goes through.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I mean, we'll see. We'll see how it all plays out, but it's just weird. You know what I mean?
oh, it's a weird thing. There's so much weird stuff going on now. I mean, we got bridges collapsing, food plants on fire, more migrants than non-migrants in some cities.
Well, it's like, what do we put in these food plants that make them so combustible? You know what I
Well,
mean?
there is.
Like,
I will say there's probably a lot of pressurized gas in them and things like that. You know, any kind of
what was it
like chips have nitrogen in them,
in
and
2019? There was like 218 fires, like almost one every other day. That's more than one a week. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like on average, like how many drink processing buildings go down like that? You know what I mean? Like I don't know. Just
yeah.
I would like to know the statistics on that myself. Just but yeah, what other big topics are there in the
That's what
news or
I'm looking
trending
at
on
right
YouTube?
now. I'm not on YouTube. I'm just on trending news right now.
Yeah, check out, see what's going on. I know there's been a big fuss, like you know, in the YouTube world stuff I follow. One of the people I follow is Ryan Upchurch. There's been a huge like Ryan Upchurch versus true crime thing going on, which basically there was a Kylie Rodney case. This girl was eventually found in the back of her car or whatever. She drove into a lake, drunk, whatever. I don't know. Supposedly just an honest accident, whatever. Well, he had spoke out his thoughts on it. Thought it had something to do with like human trafficking, and it might have sounded a little crazy, but I mean, really, how crazy is it? The more and more we catch more and more elite people doing these type things, but um, basically he spoke out about this case one more time, saying that like, hey, there's a lot of fishy stuff about this case. Why it happened in Truckee. Truckee has their own police department, but yet Placer County is the one handling the case, and I don't even know if it actually happened in Placer County, which was another weird thing with the case. Like if it happened somewhere, you think it would you know what I mean? You think that city's police would be handling it, right?
Oh, my bad. I was looking at
No,
trending
you're
stuff.
fine.
What were you talking
I,
about?
I'm talking about the Kylie Rodney case. Like, if you for those who don't know, like, there's been a lot of Ryan Upchurch got a lot of backlash because he spoke out about the Kylie Rodney case. Anyhow,
Uh,
the Kylie Rodney case, basically was a girl who was found eventually. Um, there's a lot of fishy stuff in the case, and basically, with the whole thing is, um, why wasn't that town's cops handling it? Basically, is where everybody's still trying to get back to what I'm even saying right now, and that's what Ryan Upchurch just came out and said. But it's like he's attacked because he has a different opinion than these true crime people, and I don't know, man. Like it's just weird. Like I think if people are gonna try to be internet sleuths and stuff, man, like why not? I don't know, man.
There's you know what, the
You
only thing that I've seen
you
when it
should
comes to
just be
being an
putting out the
internet
facts.
sleuth,
I
yeah,
get
you
that.
gotta just put out the facts, because defamation, there's a fine line between just doing the
Well,
research and putting it out
speculation
there.
can turn to
Yes,
defamation,
yeah.
I guess is, and I get that, like especially when it's a sensitive topic, but yeah, it's crazy, man. Like um, really crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, what else do you see? Like, What's a couple of the top trending stories, man?
I'm trying to find where trending is. Oh, here it is. Okay, there we go.
Let's check out the trending.
That's what I'm on right now.
When in doubt,
Yeah.
when in doubt.
Just video about a Japan water fountain. See, that's what I like. I got these filters on the microphone where I can watch this video and you guys don't actually hear me watching it. Until we can figure out getting it on the screen, doing like because eventually I'm going to do a second monitor where we have a laptop on this table or whatever table we're using so we can actually pull up and put stuff on the screen.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
We'll definitely upgrade the setup. This is just the trial run. Next week, hopefully, we'll have a little bit better setup even now. I'm glad we were able to get the post mics working. Though. That's good.
Oh yeah, all I had
Help
to do was just wire it in.
tremendously.
Okay, so what I see on this like water fountain thing, it was really just this. Some of the water fountains, they shoot stuff up through the top, and if you're not paying attention, it'll just get you in the eye. I thought it was gonna be something cool, but it was just.
Don't get water fountain water in your eye.
Looks like there's gonna be a new Star Wars movie, I think, or it might be a show, Tales of the Empire.
Star Wars.
That
That's cool. That's
Yeah,
cool.
Star Wars is still kicking it strong.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the new Walking Dead just ended. That was crazy. Like that they finally brought Rick back. That was
Yeah.
awesome. It was huge. Yeah, man. Like I think there's gonna be another season to the show they started, so that'll be cool, man. Like,
Yeah.
um, yeah, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. Like we're at an age now, like where you almost don't want your shows to come out a week at a time. Like you want them just to come out a season at a time.
Yeah.
Um,
I know when shows come out every week, it's like you watch one episode, then you gotta wait another week, and you've already kind of forgot, like you know a little bit of what the other episode was about. Then you gotta watch the next one, and then you almost have to watch the last one just to catch up.
yeah, yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Which that's what makes people so hooked on the binge watching is like you can remember so much of the story when you're right there like that. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, and I've noticed like some seasons of some shows, like the Invincible show on like Amazon, they release in half seasons. And like The Boys, like they'll release like 4 to 8 episodes in one part, and then like 6 months later we'll release the other 8 of that season.
yeah,
And I think that's kind of weird. Like I feel like you should either do it once a week or the whole season
the
at
whole
once.
season. I mean, I'd rather have. I like this. At least you get 8 at once. I guess
Yeah.
that's cool. The 8 at once ain't. It's better than one at a time, man.
Yeah, it's not too bad. It's like it's comparable.
But it was awesome. Yeah, Rick finally came back to The Walking Dead. That was awesome. I mean, for those who are, following that show like I have, that's big news for sure.
Yeah.
But
Um,
what other what's going on in UFC? Like what fights are coming up in UFC, man?
let's see.
I think O'Malley. I think who he's don't Sean O'Malley got a fight coming up?
I'm checking now. Um, Tomorrow at 6, there's a middleweight event, which has got Brendan Allen and Chris Curtis. The featherweights, Alexander Hernandez, Damian Jackson. Featherweights, Morgan Cherry and Chipe. Uh, Mariscal. Let me see if there's any big names in there that I recognize. Let me see what the full 2024 season is.
I wonder if McGregor's ever gonna fight again, man. Like,
Okay, April 13th is Piera versus Hill.
okay.
So,
See who if O'Malley's got a fight coming up. I swear I thought he announced that he was gonna fight somebody just the other day.
June 22nd, there's Whitaker versus Chimev.
Okay.
Um, here's past ones. Malley fought on March 9th.
Okay.
So that'd be for him to have another fight
Well,
this
I meant
soon
coming up like
after.
in 6 like I meant I thought he announced like one that was coming up in 6 months or
I don't
something.
see it on here.
But we'll see, we'll see. Um
It's
yeah, man. I
it's
wonder if
showing me all the way to September right now.
do you think McGregor will ever fight again?
Now that's a rough one just because it's like once you've done fought, a career like him, made all the money, opened your own business, got millions of dollars, yachts,
Have you
being
ever
able to drive your supercars around, like it's got to be hard to keep the fight in you. Like he talks like he wants to come back and fight more. So I mean he might.
well
I mean we never thought Mike Tyson would come back and he did.
well if the price is right, the fight's tonight, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But
everyone's got a price.
so yeah, have you ever I don't know who's ever heard like the story about like Connor I guess the wife that he's been with for, well before he ever was famous. And I heard a story basically how his wife had carried him like I don't know, 5 years. Believed in him, cut he wasn't she was covering their bills and everything so he could fight and train. And it's a cool story, man. If for those that haven't ever heard like the story of how his wife kind of helped him along in his career at the beginning, it's a cool story, man. You know what I mean? Like
Oh
she
yeah, I
really
mean,
stood by him and pushed him to be able to have the chances he had to
yeah.
and then it came back around full circle for her because I mean they're still together to this day. And yeah, man, it's crazy.
Yeah, having someone who, supports you through the hard times is always good.
Yeah, yeah,
Can't be underestimated.
yeah. But you also gotta you gotta have that self drive too. But
Well,
yeah,
you have to be able to do it yourself,
with or without, which I
yeah,
think Connor definitely had that. But it's cool that
but he may not have been
she
able to get the opportunities that he
yeah, I
had
mean
without that.
yeah, because I mean you gotta think to
You got to be able to
survive, you
feed
gotta work
yourself,
40 hours a week, you whatever, like
or at the very least, you got to have a car or like a van, live in
be
that.
willing to work, yeah, be willing to walk to work or whatever,
Yeah, work
whatever.
20 hours,
But yeah,
like, or whatever, just enough to pay for your like fight gym and food and like a gym membership.
well, and then training time. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's another thing people don't realize is the time you have to put in
Yeah.
to that stuff.
Like 6+ hours a day basically just to go over everything cuz you got to think they got their flexibility they got to do, they got their actual strength and conditioning that they have to do, any kind of like cardio conditioning. They got their actual fight training which, whether they're learning like the Muay Thai, jiu-jitsu or judo,
Oh,
wrestling, boxing, like that in itself takes up 4+ hours separate from your workout depending on what you're doing. Like say you're doing two classes or one or all of the classes of the day, like if they got a bunch of them.
yeah. Well, something I just thought of that is going on, man. This week coming up, the eclipse, dude.
Oh yeah, on Monday.
Monday is the
Yeah.
big eclipse. And what's crazy is I don't know if you've heard much about it, but so we had eclipse just like this one that went across the country 7 years ago, almost to the day, right?
Yeah.
Well, this one's coming back 7 years almost to the day, and it's going back across the United States, which it's really rare to have them happen that close together, especially in the same over the same country. Well, it's if you mark the paths of the two eclipses, it marks an X right over the United States. It's crazy. I don't know, man. Like, have you heard anything about them? They applied for what is that? Like emergency
A state
aid?
of
Yeah,
emergency.
they like all these areas that are in the path of totality have we're pretty close, and one of the counties right next to us is telling people, have so much water on hand and food for a couple weeks and all this stuff. And I don't know, I think they're expecting something and they're not telling people.
Well, we need to get some water then.
That's for sure. That's for sure. But yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, they're telling people to have a couple weeks of food on hand and all that stuff, gas, anything you need to get by if stuff was to go down. And I don't know, man. Just I don't remember all these things happen in the last eclipse. You know what I mean? So that's one reason that when I've heard people talking about this, it kind of stood out more.
Yeah, you know, a lot of jobs are giving people days off of work, and I
But like I
wonder.
couldn't set up my transportation for Monday for a doctor's appointment because they didn't have drivers.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and you have to think
yeah,
though, for an eclipse, most people just want to chill. I mean,
I get it. I get it.
but them talking about how like you gotta have so much food and water on hand and all that is
It seems a little odd, don't it?
it is pretty odd.
Definitely a little out of the norm or out of what you would think is norm.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's coming up Monday. Yeah, man, I don't know. I think we got a lot of cool stuff coming up on both these channels. My channel, we're kind of going to be documenting a lot of our lifting and
Oh yeah.
kind of like a true reality type show or a reality show, I guess.
Oh, we got a comment from Gabriel.
Well, thank you,
Yeah.
Gabriel.
Our podcast is kind of interesting because, first of all, it's in my room, and we just set this up. Well, he's on my couch.
Yeah, I
I'm
don't
in
know.
I'm in the chair. I got my mic this way. He's got his right there.
Which we'll
We're
have.
gonna we're gonna improve on it, but this is the start of it.
Yeah, we have all the equipment. We just got to set it up
Yeah.
right. Which each week you'll see it improving
Yeah, we're
for
gonna try
sure.
to do twice a week, 3 hours. Or at least 2 to 3, but we're going for 3.
So yeah,
Yeah.
man. The I'm trying to think of some other cases that's going on right now. Um, I know there's like a missing kid. Did you hear about the missing? There's like a missing
Which one? Well,
15-year-old.
there's a lot of missing kids
I
that go on around
Ain't that
here.
crazy?
I'd say I get an Amber Alert at least twice a week.
Well, there's a kid
That's
that
an exaggeration. Probably once every 2 weeks, but it's still significant enough.
there's a kid who was like 15. I think he's autistic that came up missing. I've seen him on a lot of the true crime stuff lately. Uh, and then I don't know, man. It's crazy that you know I don't think anything's wrong with the true crime niche in general, but I've seen some crazy crap go down. Like people have went after people who've lost kids, um, been investigated by the FBI, and because these people think they're guilty, they'll call and harass these people's employers to get them fired. I mean, you know how bad you would feel if you got one of your kids come up missing
Yeah, and
and you
then you
still
get
ain't found her.
accused.
And then because these people think you did something to your kid, they're harassing you even more and getting you fired. It's just insane,
Well, and
man,
then like, how
because
are you supposed to support yourself to even put the resources in to find your kid, or
yeah.
what's left of them, or
Well,
however, like while people are going after you.
the crazy thing about the case I'm talking about is these people went to YouTube because they were at their wits end, they didn't know what to do, and they reached out to creators, and these creators decided to use it for content. That's what YouTube creators do, right? But anyways, these creators used them for content, and then down the road, then once that well of content was going dry with them, then they started targeting them. You know what I mean? And the crazy thing is, the most crazy thing about the whole Summerwell case was that's what I'm referring to is not that the parents do not come off as good people or good parents. I'll be honest, okay? That said, they were investigated by the TBI, the FBI, and Hawkins County Sheriff's Department, right? Now, one of these departments was able to get them with any charges against their children, right? But all these people are thinking they're still guilty. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which if you were to see these people talk, within 5 minutes, you understand they're not outsmarting the FBI. I'd say within 2 minutes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know these people are
They don't have
not
all their faculties about them or anything
they're
like
yeah, they're
that.
not, they might be criminals, they're not criminal geniuses though. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
um, so it's been crazy to see that some of the stuff that goes on with the true crime thing. Because, like I said, like anything, it can be good or bad, man.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, one day maybe we'll do some research on that, and we'll give our take on it. Because I'll be honest, I think Summer Wells probably got lost in the woods around her house.
Yeah, that's definitely a huge possibility. See, for this one, we just to let you guys know, we didn't write anything down. We just came down here, set this shit up, and just started going.
We just was like, fuck it, we're gonna chop it up with y'all.
Yeah,
Sorry,
we're just
sorry, sorry,
here.
sorry, YouTube. Apologize about the f bomb.
Man, it's too late. We're already we've
It's all good.
already I said the
It's all
first two
good.
minutes I was like, oh
Once
shit.
once you're monetized, we'll worry about f bombs
Yeah.
to some degree. But
Yeah.
yeah, man. People, yeah, let us know what type of content, what stuff you guys like, man.
Oh yeah, because the more you guys comment what to talk about, the more we can actually
More
look
ideas we
into.
know. I love going over conspiracies, man. Like, um, you know, yeah, man. I love going over conspiracies. Um, one of my favorite ones that people don't talk about enough is the uh the Iran Contra affair. Which shout out to the real Rick Ross, not the rapper, the real Rick Ross. Um, but yeah, he ended up getting freed finally. They gave him a life sentence. And then if you know that whole case, it's crazy because they let this guy Pablo Blandon, who was a Contra, so he was like a CIA asset, right? So they let him go, and that's why Rick Ross was hit, the next man on the totem pole. So L.A. Sheriff's Department wanted somebody, so they went after him.
Yeah.
Um, it's a crazy situation. What? Yeah, we'll definitely give you guys like maybe next week. That'll be something we'll go over the first half is the Iran Contra affair because man, that thing is crazy, dude. Like, uh, if
Did
you
you got that?
huh? Oh
You
yeah,
got
man.
that.
I get talking and
Yeah. It's like, where'd it go?
but yeah. So the real Rick Ross, man, like he's got a YouTube channel. He sells lots of teas and stuff. So anybody like if you don't know who he is, go check him out. Really interesting story. Really educated guy, man. And the guy like he actually taught himself to read. So he used learning how to read, taught himself how to read in prison, right? And then used that to get himself out of prison finally, because basically they wrongfully convicted him of 3 strikes. I think when he really they stacked charges on him
Yeah.
because like this 3 strike law has to be like you commit a felony, you go in, you get out, you commit a felony, go in, and then you get out, commit another one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not like you commit a felony, you get out, get in trouble, commit another felony, but you also had 2 felonies. You had like possession of heroin, possession of coke or something, whatever.
Yeah.
Um, you have possession of 2 things that can give you a felony. Okay, and they charge you with each a felony for each. Well, they basically took them two, ran it as a 3-time offender, even though it was really only a 2-time offense. You get what I'm
Oh,
saying?
where they could slam it
Yeah,
on
yeah.
them.
That way, because they can get you with the 3 strike law, but it's supposed to be basically three like violent type offenses, anyways. Not.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, yeah. Never. Yeah. People. Yeah. It's crazy. The 3 strike laws are. I mean, I get them, but at the same time, like I feel like I don't know. It's crazy. But yeah, yeah. Uh, we'll have to, dude. We'll check out this movie. Uh, it's called American Made, man. I don't know if you've ever seen that. You
I
seen
don't think
American
I've
Made?
seen that
Oh
one.
my gosh, dude. So it's about this whole situation I'm talking about with the Cuban or the Iran Contra affair. And basically the guy was used because he was a pilot and the CIA was using him to basically fly guns to the
Yeah.
Contras and then they would fly shipments of cocaine back to sell in the streets of inner cities of America which fueled the crack epidemic, and then they used the money that came from the proceeds. The Contras would give it, for more guns to fight
Yeah.
communism in Nicaragua. So, yeah, man, like that was something I remember. I remember it because as a kid, it was going on,
Yeah.
growing up in the '80s. So, but it's crazy, man, when you know the whole history behind it. Really crazy.
It definitely sounds crazy. I'll tell you what though, going back on that three strike law, there's a lot of states with it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, they don't
Arizona,
play.
Arkansas, California, Colorado, Connecticut, Florida,
Well, and then
Georgia, Indiana, Kansas, Maryland, Missouri, Montana, Nevada, New Jersey, New Mexico, North Carolina, North Dakota, Pennsylvania, South Carolina, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Vermont,
man,
Virginia, Washington, and Wisconsin.
I didn't know that many carried that still. Now, um, the three rifle thing's crazy, but oh no, then even states that don't carry the three strike law, like Kentucky, it's not a three strike law, but they have PFO states, which is a persistent felony offender. So like if you have multiple felonies, they can charge you like as a lifetime or career criminal, basically. And
Yeah.
if they do that, basically whatever charges you're facing, you're gonna get that time plus they can give you up to like 10 or 15 for the career, as a career criminal. And that don't matter. Like say if I'm not from
Yeah.
Kentucky, but if I went to Kentucky, I get in trouble in there, get one felony, well, they can do a PSI and they would see I have other felonies from years, even though they're 20 years old, they could still technically get me under the PFO
Yeah.
statute.
See, it looks like from just a quick Google search, Kentucky just passed a three strikes penalty, but it's even more like aggressive, like where the third one's life.
That's what I'm saying. It's crazy. So many places. I mean, I don't know if you're really like if you're like some stick up guy and you're running around and every time you get out of prison you're running right back to sticking people up, then I'm all for you getting life. You know what I mean? Like, but
See,
I've seen
I've
I I've seen people get multiple drug felonies and then end up doing crazy numbers because they have multiple felonies
yeah,
when they've never been a violent offender in their life. And
yeah,
then a violent offender get a year or two. So, you know what I mean? Like I don't seem like the laws really are to protect.
yeah. See, I feel like the problem is when you try to make it in such a way where it affects everyone the same. You know what I mean? There are a lot of circumstances where like it can look like, oh, well, that guy just got out and went straight to it, or oh, that person, you know, was
The
doing
simple
drugs a
truth.
whole bunch of times, and then they got that three strikes, and then because it was all a lot of these laws are so old or have been around for so long, they've
They're outdated.
they're
They're outdated.
outdated. They need to be. I think everything needs to be more
Revamped.
yeah, revamped, efficient, like, revised is the word.
Well,
Like, it
first of
doesn't need to
all,
change completely, but, like, I think it needs to be condensed down, like, say if the book of laws for a state's this thick, maybe it needs to only be about half that, you know what I mean?
yeah, there's definitely lots of red tape.
There's a lot of red tape for just things as mundane as, like, having to have the orange flag on something sticking out of your car or, how
Well,
tall your fence can be in your front yard compared to your backyard.
the big problem is, man, is just like I said, it's criminalize people with felonies and stuff for drug addiction is just not a good idea because it's stuff they're carrying for life after that point. They're got to carry the felony for life, and so yeah, like I think there's better ways to go about it. But yeah,
Yeah.
man, I think we've been going for a minute here.
Yeah, right now we're at looks like 49 minutes.
All right, we'll kick it with you guys for a little longer, and then wrap our first edition up, man.
We can either make this an express 1 hour one and then set out a time on the next one to be 2 or 3.
Monday, do you want to do live again? We'll get
Yeah,
live
I can do
We'll
Monday.
schedule a live for Monday for y'all.
Yeah.
We'll put it up
And
Sunday.
it'll actually have a thumbnail and all that. This one, like, my editing software went out. So,
Look, we got y'all. We're gonna have
yeah.
some good. We're gonna
The
start
quality's going to
pre-recording them.
increase every single time, even if only a little bit. but we're still gonna do better.
Yeah, yeah, then the first 2 might be live. I think after that, we'll start pre-recording them just
Yep.
to, um
That way we can look over them, maybe, add a
well,
couple
that way we can give you guys the
filters.
best possible content. We can make it a
Yep.
little more entertaining.
We can
But
cut it a little bit in the pauses,
but
you
yeah,
know.
um, we got a lot of cool stuff to come as far as, both channels. Both our channels are linked together.
Yep.
You go to
So in
homepage,
mine, you can find his, and his, you can find mine. Right now, I'm approaching about 538 subs.
hit the sub. You will not be
Oh, yeah.
disappointed. We got some crazy stuff coming. You get to
Yep.
yeah,
And I'm also going to repurpose the stuff we get from the live into shorts. So there's gonna be those coming up. I can't guarantee a certain amount, but I'm gonna cut up the podcast so we can get, videos that are like 5-10 minutes long about
well,
a certain topic, or we can also get shorts out of it. But the main focus is gonna be the podcast. We're gonna be making the content.
yeah, and then a lot of what we're gonna be doing could kinda go back and forth on both channels, but, my channel, we're gonna be documenting this, journey we've been on, man, the last
Yeah,
2
we've
weeks.
we've been lifting hard
Like
every day.
crazy, dude, like crazy. We're gonna be like the Delray Misfits, but with real gains, y'all, like big gains. You don't even know, man. Yeah, we've been training like crazy. Yeah, man, it's crazy. I feel like I'm getting newbie gains again or something. It's nuts, man. But we're gonna document that. It's gonna be a little more interesting than some of the other people doing it because for those who don't know, I'm visually impaired, so it's a little entertaining to watch me getting around the gym. So we're gonna get you some videos of us doing our thing, man.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it is a fun time going to the
Hey,
gym because
I
it's
have a
like,
good time. I might bump into a machine or two.
yeah,
Some people might be like, "Dude, what's going on? This blind guy walking around the gym with a big stick." Hey,
just
but
hitting shit.
yeah,
Like,
it's crazy because like most of the time, like I think me and you's probably lifting the most weight in there normally,
yeah,
anyways.
we're
So like,
usually in there
so
just
I know
lifting
people are
hard.
like, "What's this blind guy really gonna do?" And then I go over and like we're putting like 250 on the Smith machine, and then it. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's cool, man. I love it.
But we're gonna get videos on his channel up of that. He's gonna be more the lifting side. Mine's gonna be more the podcast side,
Yeah, but
and we're just gonna keep it going.
yeah, I think you guys would be interested to follow on both sides, man. Definitely like um, whatever you're wherever you're seeing this, definitely sub to Professor Warren and G2S TV. You're gonna like the content that's coming. I'm should definitely inspire you, man, because there's no reason not to be trying to be the best person you can be, whatever obstacles you have in your way, man.
Yeah.
So
It's definitely important to, you know, find something to do.
yeah, yeah,
Everyone
man.
needs something.
Yeah.
Like, I every day I gotta work out. It
Oh, I feel so much better when I do, man.
keeps me feeling right. And if I am not working out, I gotta be in the fight gym. I gotta be doing something.
Yeah. I'm
Like,
wanting to get my mile down a little more. I'm loving the cardio though, which is different
yeah.
for me because like lifting's not. It's just I love lifting, but
Yeah.
uh,
I've always liked a big variety of everything because
well, you got to
I
have
love
cardio.
cardio. I also love to lift heavy weights. And so I like kind of hybriding it out, because just putting the two together, because it's like you don't want to be massive and not be able to
Without
run.
wind, you're nothing, man.
Yeah. Because it's like if someone's chasing you down, or you got to chase someone down, and you
Can't
can't
breathe.
run, you're just gonna fucking pass out, black out, something will happen.
That's for sure. But yeah, we're gonna be dropping a lot of content. So
Yeah,
look
this
forward to
one we're
that.
gonna make this an express podcast, 1 hour.
1 hour ain't bad though. 1 hour
Well,
live. We did
lit-
pretty good.
the
Kept y'all
goal is
pretty
just to
entertained,
keep
I
it
hope.
up. We're gonna keep it going. The next one we're gonna actually have talking points.
Y'all go watch that. Watch the video sped up of the Baltimore Bridge getting hit by the ship. I'm telling you,
It is an interesting occurrence.
definitely interesting watch.
Yeah.
But yeah, and Mike Tyson first round knockout.
Hey, I hope so, just because if he can get one last one in, that'd be so
Dude, it would
nice.
be awesome. Like Jake Paul comes out in like 30 seconds, he's knocked out. Because
Yeah.
I mean that's the way Mike Tyson used
Everyone
to do
everyone
it.
talks about how Mike Tyson might be paid to take a dive. You know what I mean?
what it, I
Imagine if it was the opposite way around, so Mike
well,
Tyson could have have one last amazing fucking fight to where it just cements his legacy in stone and iron and
I
steel.
think
Just even though that's unlikely, I just think it would be an interesting
I would like to see. You
an
know,
interesting
I
thing.
don't know if Jake Paul. I don't know if he'd do that just because his pride.
When he wants to, he's trying to pat his ego.
Exactly, his ego. I don't think would let him do it. Now that
Yeah.
said, I could see maybe Mike Tyson being paid to take a dive and then going in there and knocking Jake Paul out for
Yeah.
asking to take a dive. You know what I mean?
Take like the half up front, half at the end. He takes half the money, then just fucking
Yeah.
just
I
goes
mean,
in there.
well, you gotta think of it this way. Mike is a true fighter, a true boxer.
He's always been. He's been
So I think
that guy.
he's gonna really try to knock him out. I really, if he's the Mike Tyson we all know and love, he's gonna try to give us a first round knockout.
Oh yeah. His technique though is looking really good.
Oh yeah, for 58, man, like he's jacked. He's jacked for 58. Like I can't. I mean,
Yeah.
to be in that good of shape at 58 is amazing. And then the movement he has at 58 is amazing, man.
Yeah, his movement's really good.
But yeah, yeah, man, it's nuts.
Let me pull up some of those shorts of the Tyson's training. Pull up a couple of those shorts so we can look at for the last couple minutes. We're at the like 56-minute mark, so
Okay, well, you know
we'll
what that
look at
means.
this. We'll do the last little bit. We'll fucking oh yeah, vape time.
Wait till you guys catch the pre-workout ritual.
Oh
Gotta
yeah.
have yours in when you're hitting the gym.
Oh yeah, gotta have it. The
gotta
Zen and the vape.
let us know.
We're still trying to figure out exactly how we're doing the like how we're incorporating this, but I mean we both smoke. We both do Zen. It's just what we do. Yeah.
So, any big companies, Tyson Farms, anybody,
Anything. Just reach out to us. We'll test any product you got. Any THC product that you guys have, we will test. If you want a review, we'll do it live or on a video.
I think a pre-workout strain would be genius.
Well, yeah, if you marketed a strand as
I've
pre-workout,
been hoping to do something with that for a long time, and I believe what a
yeah.
better spokesman than me.
That literally there's no better spokespeople than what we do. Because it's in our daily life, it's how we do it, and we're an example of the people who work hard while doing it, not the people who just sit and eat a whole bunch of candy and cake and get fat while doing it.
Can't kill the mic on the first cat podcast.
Yeah, we'll be in here trying to share a mic, like
yeah, both huddled over the same mic. That's never good. But yeah,
Yeah.
man, I think you guys are along for definitely a journey and a ride.
Yeah, we don't plan on stopping. There ain't no stop to this.
Yeah, that's we're definitely trying to stay consistent, and then
Once we get schedules worked out and stuff, because I'm fortunate next week I actually have open, for a lot of the week, but after that I'm 7 days a week working all day. The podcast, I'm gonna be able to do the 3 hours or the 2 or the 1. I'm gonna be able to do it. We need to figure out the exact time. So we don't want to promise anything right now just because we don't know exact times. We know the days we want to do it though, Mondays and Thursdays.
but we'll definitely keep dropping. We'll keep them coming at least regularly.
Yeah, Mondays and Thursdays we want to do about 2 a week. And then that's the commitment we're making is 2 a week.
And then the vlog side will be a little easier. Just
Yeah,
'cause,
that's our daily
we
life
do
we're
that
lifting.
no matter what. So we just
Yeah.
got to carry a camera with us doing it. So
Yep.
it's no thing, man. I think it'll be interesting for sure for people to see, um, just to see how it goes in there, man. Like, but don't, yeah. Like I see people get like social anxiety, and like I get social anxiety. I have it, like I probably have it worse than most because
I mean,
my
everybody
sight issues.
has anxiety, but oftentimes there's two things that cause
Don't let a
anxiety.
fear cripple you. You
Yeah.
can't let anything cripple you with fear.
Oftentimes, though, anxiety is either your lizard brain trying to trick you into thinking, or it might be your amygdala tricking you into thinking a
Your
threat is lethal, even though it's
Abdullah
not.
Manga, what is it? Your Abdullah Manga, what is it? Oh man.
Abdullah
Oh my
oblongata.
god. Thank you. I'm like
But
Abdullah Gaga. Abdullah Agagaga.
but another thing is oftentimes anxiety is just the stress of you not doing the things you know you're supposed to be doing and it's weighing on you.
Yeah, it's guilt from not
Yeah.
getting up.
Yeah, not doing what you need to do. Whether even if it's something as simple as like you were supposed to get up at 6, but you fucking sat in your bed till 10 o'clock, you know, or it could be something as big as like, oh, you have this book you're trying to write and you've been putting it off for a month. Like, but anxiety will creep on you if you aren't doing what you need to be doing.
That's facts. That's facts. But yeah, man. Yeah.
Well, we're at an hour and 1 minute. So, hey, I'm Trusten, and he's Jeff. This is the
Yeah,
Trusten
yeah.
and Jeff show. You guys have a wonderful day. We'll see you next week.
Have a blessed one, y'all.